Today may be one of those videos that I may offend you. And why I may offend you? Because I've got to be brutally honest. I honestly believe that even though I find that I want to think positive and that everything is going in the right way, man, it's like everything is falling to pieces around us. Today we're going to talk about Rand Paul, how he called Trump a tyrant. Honestly, what is he pushing for? We're going to talk about Amy Coney Barrett, how, boy, she's been a failure on the Supreme Court to actually promote conservative values. We'll talk about how a reset is needed. For the longest, we didn't want a reset, but honestly, we need a reset. And how really conservatives are infighting about what that actually looks like. We're going to talk about judges, how they've been bought off and wanting people to stay here illegally. I mean, kind of like Amy Coney Barrett just did. We're going to talk about how far and how lost we truly are. And truthfully, I just don't know anymore. I don't know if I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. But to be honest with you, I'm just ill. I'm mad at the fact that all these things are happening. And when we actually have a chance with a president who pushes America first, we're supposed to have a Supreme Court, a Congress, all trending conservative, boy, we're really blowing it, aren't we? Let's talk about all these things today. It's not meant to make you upset. It's just meant to talk real just for a little bit. And let's discuss what we should be doing. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to The Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. We are so blessed to have you watching us, and we hope that you find our information good and also thought-provoking. And hopefully you'll gain some wisdom through it. Now, today's probably not one of those videos that you're going to feel positive and uplifted. Just being honest, I'm just kind of on a rant today. I woke up this morning to just news after news after news, and my thought is this. You know, we have the Congress, we have the Supreme Court, we have the presidency, we have a cabinet that's 2.0, so it has more of a populist, libertarian view. We have good things that we would think that would put us on a trajectory to get some answers done, to make America truly back to the city on the hill that it once was. And then it's kind of like we want to, break our own leg instead of running the marathon. Instead of passing over the threshold to actually say we won, we want to literally just reach down and just hit our own leg and make ourselves trip and not actually cross the finish line. Now, what do I mean by that? We have the market tanking, which ultimately will help Americans because it's going to lower the gas prices. It's also going to lower the food prices. We're going to negotiate better trade, so either we're going to have less cost overall or more manufacturing and more money in America. I mean, basically, everything seems to be going exactly what we voted for, other than conservatives, Congress, and judges that are literally trying to stop everything that we voted for. Do you realize that? Now, we voted, 77 million people voted for what we're getting. Trump resetting the economy, Trump stop spending, Trump pushing policies to really take people that shouldn't be here illegally out, and trying to fix the waste, fraud, and abuse. And your Congress, your judiciary, the people you voted for to put in power to represent you are doing the exact opposite and trying to stop Trump. Rand Paul comes out and says that Trump's a tyrant because of the tariffs. So what Rand Paul just said, now I'm a Rand Paul supporter, but what Rand Paul just said is I would rather China goods, India goods, and all the other goods that are coming here at a very high tariff, I hope they keep coming here so Americans cannot make America great again. You don't believe me? Go and actually see what Trump is pushing. Trump is not pushing for anything to hurt Americans. Do you realize your gas prices, the oil just plummeted? Did you realize the treasury bonds and the interest rates are probably fixing to go down? Those are things that benefit middle America. It doesn't benefit the richest among us, doesn't benefit the stock markets, doesn't benefit the hedge funds, doesn't benefit the rich billionaires that everybody says it does. It doesn't benefit any of those. You know who it benefits? Middle America, Main Street Americans. I promise you, people on Main Street right now that are getting up to go to work to actually do a 8 to 5 typical salary job to get paid weekly or bi-weekly could care less what the NVIDIA stock, CoreWeave stock, Chevron stock, or any other stock is doing. They don't care about the S&P. They care about how they can pay for their gas that they're going to the store to fill up at the convenience store, at the local 7-Eleven. They care how in the world they're going to pay the AT&T bill or the electric bill when they actually don't have the funds when it comes to this Thursday when their payroll comes in. They're worried how in the world they're going to cover their credit card bill when they're actually still using their credit card bill, but their family wants to go on a vacation for summer. That's what they're worried about. They could care less about the NVIDIA stock. So when Rand Paul tells us that tariffs are just a tyrant move by Trump, that shows every flipping one of your Congress and Senator bought off. Because what he's doing is he's telling you he would rather have cheap goods sent in and that Americans don't deserve manufacturing back. Kentucky doesn't deserve manufacturing back. He's no better than Mitch McConnell, Susan Collins, Murkowski, none of them. He voted alongside them. So, you may not like me for saying that, but he's selling out like all the rest of them. Now let's move on to the Supreme Court, because I'm not done. Trump puts in Amy Coney Barrett because of people like Barr, because of people like McConnell, because of the people that supposedly are on Trump's side, says this lady is going to do good for the conservative movement. She has voted more with the liberals than Justice Roberts, I think, in the last 5 to 10 things passed down. She has voted to be a feminist and voted away from conservative views and away from Trump. So is she actually standing up for core conservative values? Now, luckily, Justice Roberts actually grew a pair and had a backbone and decided to vote with conservatives on this last bill, where he said it is legal to send illegal gang members who are here trying to cause problems from Venezuela. You could go and send them out. Amy Coney Barrett didn't. She voted with the liberals to say, no, we need these gangbangers here. Do you realize that? She voted for MS-13 gangs to be here in America versus keeping your family safe in America. That's what she voted for. Go back and check it. You don't believe me? Go back and check it. So when we think the staunch conservatives like Amy Coney Barrett or Rand Paul are on our side, think again. They're not voting for you. They're voting for themselves. They're narcissism. Maybe they're bought and paid for. I don't know. But I'm sick and tired of people telling me to support these conservatives and they don't do anything for conservative movements. Trump, a billionaire. Basent, a billionaire. Or $700 million worth. A decamillionaire or a centimillionaire. Elon Musk, a billionaire. Those guys are working more for us than our local congressman? Help me understand that. Look at Congress. Anna Paulina Luna and 2 liberals go up and they say, look, we're going to waste the next 4 or 5 days talking about making sure that we can have maternity leave as congressmen. So you elect them to represent you, conservatives and liberals, and then they pull the feminist card and say, well, look, we just had a baby. We can't go represent our people. Then why are you actually getting elected to do a job if you're going to say, I want to be home? Now, I'm going to say something wild here. As a man who is married to a wonderful wife, we have 6 children. My wife was a nurse, made very good money, helped a lot of people. And every day she hated to leave. At the time we had 2 and almost the 3rd child. And she hated to leave them every day. So she decided to come home. We made sacrifices for her to be home because she knew that's what she was called to do. Wasn't called to be a nurse, wasn't called to be rich. She was called to be a mom. These congresswomen who are now parading their babies in Congress to say they need more time at home, then flip and go home. Don't sacrifice your voters for your wants. Look, you deserve to be home. Absolutely. That's where you're supposed to be. Sorry. Just being honest today. If you want to be home and that's what you're supposed to be and you think that that's where God called you to be is in your home, then don't waste the voters' time and then trying to take steps to negotiate a maternity leave for moms to vote at home. What this means, and you're missing the point if you think this is about the babies or the moms. This is about proxy voting to allow your congressman to stay at home, to not have to go to Washington. So they're going to make millions of dollars off you, off lobbyists, off kickbacks, so they can just stay at home in their pajamas and vote instead of go a few days to Washington to actually vote and represent what you want. Is that what you really want? Did you vote for these people to go to Washington to make their life easier? Because that's what they're doing. They're making their life easier while your life is getting harder. What do I tell you every day? Congress is such a waste to you because they're not doing anything other than overregulating you, overtaxing you, and taking your money and spending it. What DOJ is doing is trying to clean up Congress's mess that they approved. Do you realize that? We act like it's just, well, these things just happen. No. Congress voted, passed, and approved money to be spent, your money to be spent on frivolous, wasted things like shrimp on a treadmill, like goats reproducing, like trans rights in Siberia or Saudi Arabia. And then they're like, what? What did we spend money for? They wasted your money, and now they want to stay at home and vote and make all the money that they make now. So if you want to be a mom, go be a mom, but leave the voting to someone else. Now, I told you I probably will get blasted for this video because I've now touched on the fact of conservative justices on populist candidates in Senate like Rand Paul and people like Anna Paulina Luna. But I'm just sick and tired of people acting like they're representing us and they're not actually representing us. It's sad that we look to billionaires to represent the Main Street Americans versus the congressman that has gotten rich off us. It's amazing that these billionaires are literally doing this job for free and not making money and putting their careers on the sidelines to represent Americans than what our congressmen are doing, who started off in humble beginnings and now they're mega rich and they say they're representing you. What an oxymoronic thing to say. That's why I say it's over. Because we're so far deep in a hole to think that we're actually getting taken care of and that people are looking over us. The Senate, Republicans, just passed a measure that they want to raise the debt limit, the debt ceiling, another $5 trillion. Is that really representing you? Is that DOJ? Is that actually finding efficient ways to cut out waste, fraud, and abuse? All the money that they found waste, fraud, and abuse, again, I state every day, Senate and Congress has not codified it, meaning they're not stopping the spending. They're going to keep on spending. So are they really representing you? There's another story Benny Johnson shared, and it was from a journalist, Ben Bergwam. It says cartels are paying off judges to block President Trump's deportation of terrorists. He says what's happening is actually they're not following the will of people, they're following the will of their pocketbook. Is that really representing you? It says going to find direct financial contributions to cartels to these judges. It's sad because what we're seeing is banks and congressmen and judges are pretty much all bought off to do the will of people who are bad players and not the will of American people. I love this quote that Dr. Drew shared. It said, if pharmaceutical companies cured you, they'd go bankrupt. If banks helped you get out of debt, they'd collapse. If politicians actually solved your problems, no one would elect them again. And I love this. He says, if Tom killed Jerry, the show would be over. Remember, it's amazing. Tom never catches Jerry, does he? And if he does, it pretty much backfires on Tom. The whole point of the conversation is this. Congress doesn't want to fix the problems that they've caused because then they would be out of job. They want to make you believe that they're working for you, but they know if they actually work for you, you may not need them anymore and they may not get rich off your tax dollars. You know why they don't want to fix Social Security? Because they want you dependent on Social Security. You know why they don't want to fix inflation? It's because they want you poor so you can keep on needing them. Think of property tax. I'm sitting here at my home that's paid off, that my land is paid off. Wait, no, it's not. It's not, because I have to pay a $30,000 property tax each and every year just to say I own it. Does that actually look like America is helping the middle class person? Look, I don't have that kind of money all the time. So that means I have to generate extra money from my business, generate extra money from my farm, just to cover property tax to say that I have land that I personally bought with my own money and had to borrow the money to do it, pay interest to the bank, and now I'm still paying basically interest and tax to the local governments to say that I can still own my land. Because if I quit paying it, guess what? The government takes it. So it's over. Now, there's times I feel like this. I feel very lonely. I feel very troubled. I feel very depressed because what have we made? If our founding fathers come back and saw the state of the union, they would have started another revolution, I believe. I mean, we have a high schooler at a race get killed with a knife stab, and this guy, who's a black individual, now has a GoFundMe or a GiveSendGo to where he's built up tons of money for being a murderer. We see a CEO get shot in the back, and this guy becomes a hero. This Luigi guy. Do you not believe we're in a bad spot? Do you not believe that we're in tumultuous times? Do you not believe that it's not going to get worse before it gets better? I love how all these hedge fund managers and all these big banks, these billionaires and these mega millionaires and politicians are all complaining about the market. But again, what did I tell you? What did I say when we first started this video? Did you look at your Nvidia stock today? Did you look at how the S&P did? Did you look at how your equities market or the bond market did? Or did you get up, get your kids ready for school, try to get them some breakfast in their system, and try to get to work just to try to make money to cover the supper that you're having to pay for tonight, or the energy bill that you're having to pay for this week? I imagine it didn't really matter to you. What we see is we voted for a president to work for us, and so far we've been let down. Not because of the president. He's tried. Do I give him all the perfection, A+ score? No, there's some things he probably could do better, but to be honest with you, he's tried. But sadly, our own Congress that's supposed to represent us, our own judiciary that was put in by the conservative side, our own leadership is working against us. Now, I told you I was probably going to be a depressing video and I'll probably get canceled, but here is the positive. Every time I think about my taxes, or I think about the cost of things, or I think about how the news is scored to just cause us problems, when I think about the fact that politicians don't want to solve our problems, I then go back to a few things. And here's the truth. First and foremost, I do have hope because it's not in the world, and I am a Christian. So I look to God to help me. You know, there's times that I feel so disregarded in America. But then I'm like, you know what? We have something so much better to live for, and that is our Christian faith. In a time where England is moving and trending towards Islam, when a time when America is not actually living for Christ, individually, I'm going to press hard and I'm going to try to live for God. Secondly, I have my family. No family's not perfect, but when I look at my wife and I look at my children, that's why I fight. That's why I do these videos. That's why I farm. That's why last night I was out at dark trying to literally move hay to animals so then I could have sustainability on my farm to feed the cows, to feed the sheep, to feed the pigs, to turn around so I can harvest them and they could feed our family. That's why we do it. That's why I woke up this morning at 4 to go milk. It's not because I'm doing that for anyone else. I'm doing it for my family. So when I think of that, I think of hope in God. I think of hope in my family. And then I think of health. God has given me health. That could leave us at any point. Your health could leave you at any point. So when I think about how bad the world is, I think of those three things. God's grace and spiritual blessings. My family, the emotional connection, the love that I have for them. And then the health that God has given me. Those things help me keep on going. And then that's when I press on to be more sustainable. That's when I press on to get out of debts. That's when I press on to work hard because I'm supporting them. And when I hear congressmen and the judiciary and some of the politicians and the billionaires tell me how wrong we are and how dumb this president is, even though he had 77 million votes and he's a billionaire and made money not in the political circles, he actually made money for himself, then I realize that all of them are going to let me down. But ultimately, I'm going to keep on pressing on. And I'm going to keep on trying to be sustainable. And I'm going to keep on trying to be independent. And I'm going to keep on trying to work hard for my family. And ultimately, I'm going to have spiritual hope in Christ. People will let you down. But we keep pressing on because we believe that even though there's problems, we still have hope. So my goal for today is to rant and get mad about all the stupid things that's going on, but to know that I can't put my hope and faith in some of these people because they're going to let us down. But what I can do is work hard, put my faith and hope in something so much bigger, love on my family and work hard for them, and keep my head down and keep at the grind and keep pressing for change, because that's what we have to do. Guys, let me know your thoughts on today's video. It's not meant to make you mad. It is a rant. But what it does is represents that even though I think that there's good things happening, there's crappy things happening. But that's when we realize that men will let us down. We have to put our faith and hope in something more. Think of Christ. Think of our family. Think of our health. And don't take those things for granted, because that's the things that keep us going. Thank you for watching. God bless.